Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of The Loud House. In today's video, we take a look at the Season 2 episode where Lola and Lana try to do something together, and yet it's their own differences that could undoubtedly split them apart. Today's episode is titled, Patching Things Up. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. In this episode, Lola and Lana try out for the Bluebell Scouts by trying to earn 5 qualifying patches in challenges where one twin performs very well, while the other doesn't. But just when they're on the verge of getting their final patch, they intentionally fail their individual challenges because neither twin wanted to join the Scouts without the other. However, they do end up earning their 5th patch, rather conveniently if I may say, and they officially join the Bluebells, and their first task is selling Lincoln and Clyde, who had been hoping to get their hands on the Bluebell cookies, several boxes of kale. Curse you, healthy eating initiatives! Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. I know it should go without saying by this point in my review series, but Lola and Lana always have some of their best moments when they're in the lead together, and this episode was just another example of that. However, this one does have a few things that keep it from reaching its full potential as an A-rated episode, but I'll get to those issues in just a bit. I'll start off on a more positive note by saying when it came to the Scout challenges, each twin was able to achieve certain patches because some challenges one of them excelled and played well to the type of character they were, and more specifically the type of character their twin wasn't. Lana can change a tire like it's no one's business, while Lola is freaked out by the idea of digging a latrine to do her business. Conversely, Lola can hit the high note when singing, while Lana doesn't feel the need to change out of her all-weather clothes and into something more proper for a rainy day, and an episode like Undie Pressure is a solid argument to support her claim. So basically, this was another episode where these two identical twins with extremely different personalities played off one another, and competing in those challenges helped to consistently highlight those differences throughout the story. At first, I thought only some of their challenges were authentic, like cleaning up the environment and fishing, while others were just too out there, like sewing and doing aerobics. However, after talking to my cousin who was in the Girl Scouts way back in her day, she confirmed that all the patches in this episode are in fact legit, with some being earned by older Scouts, and a more thorough internet search also confirms the authenticity of these challenges. I'm a guy, what did you expect? Anyway, completing the challenges correctly is the Bluebell way of being a Scout. The challenges were about building character and confidence, and that required stepping out of one's comfort zone and learning to be prepared for anything with which they may not be familiar. Lola had trouble stepping out of her comfort zone in the beginning, while a more confident Lana was very much in her zone when it came to the first 4 challenges, only for their roles to be reversed during the next 4 challenges, once again highlighting their differences. Since I assume the tryouts were a best of 9 challenge, I can see why Lola and Lana were starting to get mad at each other when one twin failed to win the patch the other succeeded in winning. They only had a small number of challenges to go through, and failing to complete 5 would disqualify any one of them from joining the Bluebells. It reached the point that when the time came for their 9th and final mystery challenge, each of them not only doubted their twin was going to get the qualifying 5th patch, but they both angrily decided they didn't care if they would join the Scouts together so long as they individually got in. However, they were reminded of why they wanted to join the Scouts in the first place after Lola came across the good luck charm Lana gave her and vice versa. That's when Lola took on the personality of Lana and Lana assumed the role of Lola, and they both deliberately failed their final challenges of hosting a tea party and setting up a campsite respectively. They had a twin sister bonding moment of reckoning when they realized it wouldn't be worth joining the Bluebells if they weren't together. They each sacrificed an easy win for the sake of their sisterly love, and that was just commendably adorable. However, this is where I have to talk about my critiques of the episode. Each twin thought they would have the same challenge as they did and would never be able to do it. Half of what they said is true, because Lana holding a tea party and Lola trying to set up a campsite sounds like total impending failure just waiting to happen. But what would make them assume the envelopes they were handed would contain the same challenge? While, yes, they did say they hoped the respective envelope each of them received wouldn't contain a challenge where Lana would have to act like a proper lady or Lola would have to get her hands dirty, but their individual final challenges put them in their comfort zones, therefore guaranteeing an easy victory, and together they would have been Bluebells regardless. I mean, I understood what the story was trying to do, and the sentimentality is what counted the most, but part of their explanation just seemed a little too convoluted. Still, they managed to get their 5th patch in the end, but not from the final challenges they were given. Because of their loving reconciliation as sisters, the scout leader awarded them the Faithful Friendship patch. In other words, they got a patch for patching things up between them. Again, I understood what the story was going for, but to win a patch that just came completely out of nowhere was simply too convenient. None of the other girls were competing for that patch, as far as we know, so the twins earned their 5th qualifying patch, and it was never up for grabs in the first place. Maybe it was a challenge you can't prepare for and you have to earn it without realizing it's there? I don't know, maybe. But Lola and Lana's actions did move that scout leader to tears and prompting her to call her sister, so I guess everyone's a winner in this case. And finally, there's the mini subplot with Lincoln and Clyde trying to get a hold of the famous Bluebell cookies. That was pretty much the only reason why they were so on board with Lola and Lana joining the Scouts. Them spying on the girls and sneaking around the campground didn't add anything significant to the conflict or Lola and Lana's character progression, and their moments came off as more distracting and detracting to the episode overall. Honestly, their plot could have been removed and this episode would have been way better. The only storyline purpose for them appearing would be that they finally put their money toward the one and only thing they cared about in the Bluebells, only it turned out the Scouts did away with selling cookies. Instead, the boys made a non-refundable purchase for kale puffs. I guess the ending to their plot was kinda funny since they went out of their way to get something that wasn't even there, and they wound up with health food. I'm all for watching what I eat, but seriously, who is going to spend money on kale? Oh, yeah, that's right. Never mind. Overall, there's not too much else I can say without repeating the entire plot. This was a good episode for Lola and Lana, and even though they're both good or bad at different things, they both share the same love of being together, and that's when they are at their happiest. While I do have my critiques about part of the twins' explanation on failing their final challenges and for them to earn their last patch rather conveniently, I can't find anything truly negative in either them or the main plot. My only big negative would be Lincoln and Clyde's subplot, where their involvement slowed down the story and could have been written out altogether. I understood where their plot was heading towards, and the ending to their quest for cookies was all for comedic effect, but it wasn't needed for the main story at hand. With that said, I give Patching Things Up an 8.8 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Patching Things Up. There's one last thing I can't stop thinking about. Doesn't the Bluebell Scout leader remind you a little bit of Gary and Betty from the Fairly Odd Parents? With all that eerily weird rhyming, you have to wonder what's going through her head when that happens. Maybe it had something to do with what I would assume was a broken relationship with her sister prior to this episode taking place, but thanks to Lola and Lana, perhaps she was able to patch things up in her personal life. I don't know, and maybe we're not supposed to know. So, as far as this episode goes, what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.